That's amazing. So
Yeah.
now that I've
Got me tearing.
got you
Got me
again,
emotional again. Yeah.
superpower. What would you say? And you can't sort of tell me.
And I can't repeat that.
Well, you could.
Mm-hmm.
You could. But it's a singular. So I'm going to back up a little bit. So I do these superpower evaluations with people.
Yeah.
And people like to say, hey, my superpower is I'm on time, or I am, I'm good with people, or I never say die. There's just sort of real, like superficial, but a superpower is like deep. It's super deep. It's something that I'm going to steal from you, which is even on your worst days, you're amazing at.
Yeah.
So what would you say your superpower is?
I would say there's two things that I think that I took. I think that interview was maybe 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot has happened in my life since then in a good way. Yes, the entrepreneurial spirit that I got from my mom and the ability to have conflict resolution. In other words, to collaborate. Like, show business is a collaborative medium. Hey, man, we got to all come together. A movie set has 120 to 150 people working on it. That requires a person to be like, hey, we're shooting, in the case of one of my favorite directors right now, John Chu, Wicked. You know how many people work on Wicked, from the costume department to the lighting department to the stagehands, grip, crew, lighting, building those sets, like the whole construction department. That is hundreds of people working over months of time. Oh, so you want the wall and it's got to be 50 and it's all got to be pink. What patina of, just the level of micro decisions along the way for 3 seconds of a shot or whatever, right? Yeah. That is a level of collaboration that I got from my dad. Hey, you're going to meet amazing people, weird, all that stuff along the way. So that was a beautiful thing, and it got me to here. But now that I've thought about this, to give you a unique answer in a new, updated kind of 2024 answer, I would say now at age 39, the two things I'm proudest of the most that I think are my superpower is the ability to clear the queue, to finish the task that I set out to do. And number two, what's up, right? Clear the queue. And number two, the power of the pivot, to understand like, hey, this thing didn't happen, pivot to this.
Right.
Pivot to this. And I'll tell you, when you're young, you can pivot really quick. As you get older, speaking of being at the fight, Lennox Lewis and Holyfield, they're moving a little bit slower physically. What you hope for is that your mind can, maybe if you can't physically pivot, can your mind pivot? Our parents are getting older. How much can they pivot now?
Yeah.
Are they kind of stuck in their ways? And I'm glad that I'm still an active player in my pursuit to be like, even if it's a no, cool, we're going to go to this. That was a no, we're going to go to this, like that pivot. Let's even get even more specific. Right now I'm in pre-production on a film. I wrote it with a friend of mine, and my buddy who I wrote it with goes, man, this is going to go. This is going to be a banger. And I agree with him, but I become more kind of zen about it. I go, listen, man, whether this thing goes or it doesn't, bro, that's the power of the algorithm. It's literally not in our control. But I'll tell you this, man, the journey along the way, all the pre-production calls that we're in right now, location scouting, hiring heads of departments, all of these little just boring details. I'm like, we're going to see that through.
Yeah.
And we're going to do the 38 days of principal photography and the 3 months of editing. And we're just going to be dialed in.
Yes. You're going to clear the queue.
And we're going to finish the task.
Yes.
We're going to clear that. Yeah. It's not even clear the queue, do the laundry. A better way to do it is just hey, when you set out to do something,
you accomplish.
Finish it.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing. Whether it's the smallest thing of, hey man, when it's leg day and I said I was going to do 3 sets of deadlifts, 3 sets of squats, this many calf raises, this many whatever, I'm clearing all of it. And that's something to take pride in, especially as you get older. And you knew this being a young athlete, probably when you were playing in college.
Yeah.
Weight room. Really? 12 exercises.
Yeah.
4 sets. I'm going to do probably 8. I'll do 3 sets. I'll around,
Yeah.
bench a little bit. Like, you're not completing the task.
Yeah.
You're an author now. You talk about book proposal, you got to be dialed in.
Don't remind me.
Dialed in.
Don't
No, but
remind
it's
me.
like, but that, like,
Yeah.
you know this, like the process of being like, you understand this 60-page PDF, that's my proposal or whatever it is, how much detail went into just the overview.
Yes.
Then chapter 1, then chapter 2. It's like, hey man, I am completing the task.
Yeah.
And I would say, man, if you're just a task completer, you can get away with it at 15. Bro, when I was in high school, I cheat off the study guide. I get someone's older brother to, you can coast off that. Athena's probably dealing with that too. Motherfuckers out here eating gummy bears and still balling.
Still balling.
Try doing that at 28.
Right.
Try doing that at 35.
Right.
You can't be on that gummy bear life.
Yeah.
And try being on that gummy bear life and then now pivoting out of basketball into banking.
Right.
Healthcare. Right. Good luck. Yeah, good luck.
So we have to steal another term, Jordan, as gummy bear life. I like that. I like that one too.
You know, because like, you know, I sometimes will do, you know, interviews and podcasts with these NBA players. And I love the NBA. But they're 22, 23, and they're just shoveling gummy bears in their mouth. I'm like, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm talking to you from the future at 39.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Can you? Maybe you know this better than me. I mean, you were a former athlete.
Yeah.
Can you live that gummy bear life at 40?
I think
at 50.
You are hitting a lot of notes. I want to come back to something else afterwards about you being an artist, which I really believe that.
Sure.
But just to go there, I think that it's the unfairness. You asked me earlier today off mic. My base emotion is anger, which is very interesting. Being a CEO, right, of a $2 billion company, and your base emotion is anger, and being able to navigate that and making it productive.
Yes.
And you know, I think the, you know, the thing about it is that if you, you know,
we were talking about it, but really what it is, man, is not, it's a passion around an injustice.
Correct. So that's the thing. Like, it's like you're pointing out, you asked me whether you can experience that gummy bear life or do that gummy bear life and be successful. Yeah. The truth is that in life, the reason I get so angry is that people don't get what they don't deserve what they get. And some people don't get what they deserve. And so to answer your question, there's that phenom that we're dealing with now with Athena in basketball, or even Orion. Like, there's that phenom that's not training, that's not studying, that's not, and they're on the court for 40 minutes and they're dropping 25 points a game. Yep. And then there's people that are doing everything, and because they're sitting behind somebody, they don't get what they deserve. Right. So I think, you know, but the truth is that I think what you said is correct, that at some point it's going to come home to roost in whatever genre that you have to pivot into, whatever.
And we've been watching sports long enough to be like,
we've seen it.
Man, there was that gummy bear kid who was knocking people out. Right. And man, oh man, did that turn when they turned 35. And at 45, it's even weirder. And at 55, it's even stranger and sadder. But also, just to dial it in, and I know you love your daughter so much. But just understand that, like, the game of basketball is literally a 48-minute game. Yeah. But if Athena really is her in that way, she's winning the other 23 hours and 12 minutes of life. And then if you zoom out, God willing, inshallah, the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years because of that. And so it's just... I
think you're trying to get me back for making you emotional by making me emotional right now, because I'm getting teary-eyed just you know, thinking of that, what you're saying. Yeah.
Like, to be like, you know, sometimes I'll hold my daughter and I'll tear up and I'll be like, why are you crying? Or whatever. She'll like be making fun of me. And I'll tear up at the idea of, like, I just hope one day she meets someone who loves her as much as I love her. And I'm crying at the idea that I don't think there will be a person on planet Earth that loves her that much. And I'm like rocking her, and I'm actually mourning that future moment that may not happen.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Like if only you knew,
Right.
she
Yeah.
she weighs 48 pounds. Like,
Yeah.
I'm holding this little girl.
Yeah.
Like if only you knew how much I love you.
Yeah.
And I'm like bursting open at the cruelty that there won't be a person holding you this way.
Wow.
You know? There's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way
way.
any guy or girl on planet Earth will be able to bench the amount of love that I have for her.
Man.
There's so many 45s of love on that bench of love for her. You have no idea. I'm Ronnie Coleman. That's how much I love.
Ronnie Coleman.
That's how much love I have for her. It's impossible.
Right.
It's impossible.
Wow.
Every speck of you, every freckle of you,
Yes.
every
Everything.
part of you,
Everything.
every curl in your hair. I
Right.
love. Like you have no idea.
Wow.
You think some dude you meet at BU's gonna look like
Yeah.
not happening.
Not happening.
Not happening. And so I'm just like holding that person in that moment. But what was
So-
I trying to say? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just to pivot, you are, I'm going to make an assessment of you, which is probably not the best for my future,
Okay.
because you
right.
have many more mics than I have. And so I'm going to hear
Sure.
about this, but I'm going to make an assessment of you, based on somewhat the way I see the world. So artists, right? Artists, there's sort of people, and to your point about going and getting the study notes and cheating on tests and whatever, those people aren't, they might do well. They might graduate. They might even get the best job, but they're not artists. And artists are equals creatives. And creatives, right, are about building a product. They're really building greatness, right? They're not worried about getting better faster than everybody else is getting better so they don't get worse.
Yeah.
They're worried about disrupting so that they can pursue greatness. And I see what you've built, just and I know you have had to pivot around things that you thought were things that were bad.
Yes.
And other things that you thought were good. But at the end of the day, you're a creative that's pursuing greatness, masterpieces. When you mention the movie and you're like, oh, I don't care how it does. The reason you don't care how it does is because you're actually pursuing greatness. Because if something is great and nobody cares about it, nobody wants to watch it, you don't care.
Yeah.
Right. But if it's not great and everybody loves it, you're devastated.
Devastated. Be like, this isn't, I don't feel proud of myself. Yeah. It's like it is a personal integrity and accountability.
Yeah.
And look, like I think with social media and the state of media, and you can talk about celebrity politics, whatever you want. It is profound how low the floor is getting. And one of the things I was talking about with my team is I don't give a what you see on TikTok or what you see being talked about online. We're not lowering our floor.
Yep. Yep.
Like so-and-so's doing this and they're still getting this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's about personal lifelong integrity and pride in yourself. When you look at yourself in the mirror to go, yeah, man, like that was I emptied my tank. So I think if you were to ask me like, hey, Hasan, you have a terminal illness, you're going to die tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel? There would be a part of me that might be like, man, I wish I would have done this or gone to this place or seen this thing. But I think for the most part, I'm pretty proud, even in the things that I lost and failed at and came second place or fifth place in, that I just emptied the tank. That's all. And to me, like the biggest test of like, hey, you really believe that? Just apply the software that you're running on yourself and just be like, if my son or daughter ran that software, would I be okay with that? If they behaved and held to themselves to that same standard, would you be proud of that?
Yeah.
And if my son or daughter, ran the line drills the way I ran the line drills and still got cut from the football or the track team, man, I'd be so proud of them.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd be so proud of them. Their lungs are on fire.
Yeah.
Their little Indian shins have shin splints. But I'd be like, man, I am so proud of you.
Right.
Like you are Michael Phelps to me. Because you really emptied that tank.
Yes.
And I can't always say that.
Yeah.
When I look at even some Olympic athletes, I'm like, I don't know if you emptied your tank.
Right.
I think you were gummy bears and talent got you really far. But I'm talking about integrity, character, what you are. Like,
you also have your parents, obviously, your kids, Bina.
Yeah.
But there's other
And
people.
Bina's extremely high integrity person.
Yeah, but
She sets a very high bar.
yeah, I know. I work with her, so I know.
But you talk about clearing the queue
Yeah.
and completing the task and being there for people. You know, we're having this conversation. She is literally at a friend's, 40th birthday getaway. That means like she had to get childcare for the kids.
Yeah.
And Bina's in bed by 7 p.m. So she's not, boozy brunch and vibe girl.
Right.
She's
right.
like, why am I doing this? And she's doing this because she's a high integrity person of like,
Yeah.
that's my friend. And who I am is I'm a person who's there for my friends. I'm a person who's there for my family,
Love it. Yeah, because you're that relationship, those relationships, you're like that too. I mean, the fact you're very loyal.
Yes.
I again, not just with me or the people that are that you, I wouldn't say circle is the wrong word, connected to.
Yeah.
You're very loyal to them.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah, I've watched, watched who you interact with. You talk about JayZ, all the things that you do. You deeply connect with what they're passionate about. I mean, you've connected, with me through Bina, about the Vituity Cares Foundation.
Yes.
And it's going strong, and you're such a big part of that. So I think that's another thing I'm learning about you from obviously stalking you a little bit. I don't know how many clips we watched. Probably
Man, you guys had to go through
thousands.
The trope.
I want to ask you. Let's totally switch gears here.
Yeah.
Favorite artist.
Favorite artist.
I should say this: favorite musical artist, because artists could be favorite musical artist.
Man. Yeah. So.
And you don't have to pick one. You can give me a bevy. You can give me a bevy. You can give me a bevy.
And can I tell you? And I can give you the little story as to why.
Yeah.
I'll give you a bunch, man.
Yeah.
I would say Michael Jackson for his innovativeness,
For sure.
his genre-defying, paradigm shifting, what he did, what he did with his sound, dancing, spectacle, performance, and then music videos. He did just genre-defining on every level. Somebody that I've recently come to deeply love and admire and respect right now is Usher because of his longevity.
Yeah.
R&B singing was it used to be this hey, put on a white tank top and steal my girl.
Yeah.
And that lasted until you were 30, maybe late 20s. And then the moment you're in your 30s, you're an old head.
Yeah.
And you're out here doing the, the casino circuit.
Yeah.
It's called the Remember When tour. You're on the nostalgia tour. The fact that he's still making contemporary records that are being appreciated.
And rocking the six pack.
It looks different than everybody else that come back and try to.
It's really different. And when you talk about process and consistency and whatever, and I know this is a live touring performer.
Yeah.
Man, I've been on tours where the total number of shows you do at the end is 60 cities, and you're probably at 118 shows or whatever, in 80 cities and 126 shows. It really takes its toll. For him to be dancing like that, singing like that, drenched, and you got to understand at the end of it, thank you, Dallas. Then he's meeting Moo. He daps up with Moo. Then he's meeting Tasha. Then he's meeting Athena and photos. He's maybe having some lukewarm chicken breast and some just kind of, it's in a sweaty plastic, one of those plastic containers, just, and the container's cold and sweaty. You eat that. He's still a person. We don't have teleportation yet.
Yeah.
He's getting in a tour bus. He's got to get to San Antonio. He's got to get to the next day. They're in Chicago. He's landing. It's 3, 4, 5 a.m., 4, 5, 6 hours of sleep. Then he's got to get up, raspy voice. Where's my green tea? Get to the venue. The venue's cold and it's dark. This isn't happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
to be
doing it.
Game day every day.
Game day ready. And then in Chicago, Moo's older brother's there.
Yeah.
And Moo's older brother's got to see the show, and he's got to meet him backstage.
Yeah.
His younger sister's there, whatever it is. And for him to be that dialed in, just to be that consistent, and then also be that innovative, I was like, man, your longevity
Out of control.
Is great.
Out of control.
Another person that I love, like what he's doing, and just kind of what he represents, I think, is Pharrell Williams. And
Yeah,
his
absolutely.
ability to, we were talking about anger, and he's just inspiring to me in the sense that I'm like, man, this guy is making incredible contemporary music and classic music without having to tap into hatred and jealousy and anger as an emotion.
By the way, his best album for me is the soundtrack for Minions, which is
really,
and not many people know that, because at the time, he was the first artist musician like that from that genre to be able to take over a whole score for a animated movie. That was brilliant. That's where Happy came. Everybody,
of course,
I'm happy. Everybody loves that song.
Yeah.
But to write that song for the Minions, just
and
there's another song in there, Cloudy Days Are Temporary.
Oh yeah, it's a great
or
song.
Rainy is something like that. But he's anyway.
And talking about longevity. He's been around for a while.
A long time.
Since the
Rope Shaker video.
You
guys remember that?
Video?
Back in the 90s,
Yeah, so when he talks about Teddy Riley finding him, I'm like, that's in the early 90s, maybe late 80s or something.
In his music class with playing different instruments. That's great.
And then last, and again, you just talk about longevity, which is, and he's not a musical artist, but Stephen King, the novelist. And Stephen King has an amazing book called On Writing. And if you just want to, it's just about the process of writing as a craft and as art in and of itself. Of course, Ta-Nehisi Coates is one of the great modern writers, but when I look at what Stephen has done, just the volume of work he has created, it's unreal.
Yeah.
But that book, what it really elucidated to me is, again, and I mean this for Athena, if I could give her advice, is like, everything you're doing right now is a discovery of who you are. Stephen has 10 books that are like all-time GOAT books, right? Of course, The Shining, these are like iconic books in the canon of the genre, thriller, horror as a genre of book writing. But if you look at the number of books he's written, it's probably 70. I mean, it's crazy. Just go to Wikipedia. It's crazy how many books he's written. And you know this as an author, what it takes, what you have to excavate out of yourself to put words on paper.
Yeah.
And to me, when I read that book on writing, I'm like, oh, this is who he is.
Yes.
It's not about I'm Stephen King. He's like, I am a person that is exploring the human condition by articulating and writing it out.
That's 100.
And that's just who I am, whether I'm a puttering old 87-year-old man at like a cabin in Maine, to when I was, he talks about being an alcoholic and writing, but he was like, it's who I am. It is what I do. I think that's what a beautiful life to live.
Amazing. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's, I'm struggling with that now. I don't ever want to be a CEO who writes. I want to be an author who happens to be a CEO.
Sure.
And in the first book I wrote, I had this theory, I was like, I'm one of these guys like, Malcolm Gladwell, if you're listening, Malcolm Gladwell, I feel like I'm baby Malcolm.
Oh, man.
Like everything in the world is wrong and here's why.
Yeah.
And in my first book, I wrote these theories, like it's like this theory. And then I kind of figured out, okay, well, based on that theory, I want to tell you a few stories. Yeah. So to justify it.
Yeah.
This one, I realized just what you talked about is that I can tell stories. And the theories will come out of the stories. But if you link a bunch of stories together, it's a much, much, much better way to to give your theory on life rather than tell everybody theory. Yeah. And then find a few like cool stories.
Yeah. Here's rule number 4.
Yeah. So I mean, I think and to your point about writing, what I've learned too is you have to sort of write who you are. Yeah. And then I'm sure, but I'm digressing.
Keep going. Just keep talking. I gotta go to
the bathroom. Okay. You want a break?
Yeah, let me use the restroom.
Yeah, good. Yeah, we'll come back.
All right. I'll use the restroom. No, it's great. You've done a great job.
What I realized, like you know how you said you're looking for gifts? What I realized about the gala is that something I can do that I don't think a lot of, here, you want us help? He needs help. Yeah. I feel like, because of who I am, the fact that I'm in healthcare, and maybe we should record this.
It's recording.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. The fact that I'm in healthcare and I probably shouldn't be, right? Like I probably Like of all the things you think about when you're growing up.
Yeah, there's 12 things you could have done, 15 things you could
A
have done.
healthcare CEO was never ever one of them. Like it was like DJ, rapper, basketball player, playing in the EuroLeague, soccer. Like this was not one of them. So like what ends up happening is that I have connections or love interacting with people from lots of different genres. Yeah. And I feel like by Tootie Cares and just this can be a way that I get genres together that would have never normally gotten together.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And that's so like super cool. Like imagine how much good we could do in the world if it wasn't genre. Like healthcare's trying to do healthcare and then entertainment.
Music's trying to do music.
Music's trying to do this thing and that thing. But what if we could have, maybe the ESPYs have already done it, but what if we could have a place where we bring everybody together, highlight people who are changing the world.
Yeah, totally.
Right. But not just make it just about the Grammys or the Oscars.
Yeah. Grammys, musicians here, Oscars, actors here. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So, okay. So what we do on Less Than 1%, every podcast show has their thing. And so we're trying to figure out, do we put you in a dunk tank or, do we, are you supposed to show up in certain dress? So what we said is
the game. We couldn't clear that with the building. Sorry.
Yeah. We ask everybody, security's outside. We ask everybody what their superpower is.
Yeah.
And then we want to validate that. So we have you ask a family member or a friend, and we have them called, you call them cold, and all we're going to do is we're going to get on the phone with them.
Yeah.
And then we're going to ask them what your superpower is.
Okay.
So,
well, I mean, we're gonna have to get through some warm up. She's gonna go, "What are you doing? What happened? Why were you at the fight?" This is all gonna,
Tell you about her week.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Can you hear it?
We can hear. This is wild. It's cool that she's got this set up.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. Wow. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Wow.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Let's call Dad. Assalamualaikum, ma. It's me. I'm just calling you. I'm on a podcast. But I'll call you later so we can catch up more. Chalo. Khalafis. All right, let me call Dad. The energy's about to shift. Watch the energy shift. Hasan. Hasan. Yeah, it would be like he's like in a tunnel yelling, but he'll just be in the house.
You have reached Najmi Minhaj.
Oh, okay.
Please leave your name and number.
So what do we do now?
Well,
She's our backup.
You wanna
Your Masbina?
Yeah, is she on a plane though, isn't she?
No, she's still there. Let me see. Should we ask her?
Maybe we should try Mom one more time.
Let's try Mom one more time.
Yeah, and then we'll go Bina. I'm a little worried.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
My parents have. You know what? I'll call my sister. Let me call my younger sister. Let's call Aisha. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Okay. This is very random. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm on a podcast right now, and the game in the podcast. So I'm just giving you fair warning.
Okay.
The game in the podcast is you have to call someone that you love. But the podcast, I promise you, isn't one of these insane podcasts. It's about like humiliating yourself or whatever. It's like it's like a positive, uplifting podcast.
Okay.
But I'm supposed to call a loved one. So you're in the recording right now, and I'm supposed to ask you, what is it? I'm supposed to ask.
Yeah. Hi. How are you?
This is
Hey, this is Moo.
Hi.
Good to meet you. Yeah.
Likewise.
So we are sorry for bothering you on a Saturday, but we wanted to know what Hasan's superpower is.
Oh my God, his superpower. Oh boy. Okay. So So obviously he's funny. So you know that. I'm not even going to say that's a superpower. I think his superpower is he is really optimistic, like optimistic about people and situations. I call him toxic positivity sometimes because he won't like acknowledge if something is like hard or wrong. So I think his superpower is to like be in these really tough scenarios and just like everything's great. It's going to go great. We're all great.
That's awesome.
And, yeah, it gets them through life. Like, yeah, that's a superpower.
That's awesome. And I have to believe you because my sister's name is Asha, so your name is close to it. So, that means we're kindred. We're kindred.
I love it. Yeah. So that's what I'd say superpower is.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We're sorry to bother you.
I'm gonna FaceTime you on the way to the airport.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Have a good rest of the podcast.
All right, good meeting you.
Okay, love you. And
Likewise.
I knew I was gonna do this. I was like, if it was something stupid or bad, I'd be like, I'm not calling my sister. I'm no longer implicating family members in stupid or bad decisions.
No, this was a fun one. I liked it.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Talk to you later.
That's awesome. Ooh. That's awesome. Hey, were you worried about that one?
Yo, younger sister. You know what I mean?
Wow.
What you call family? They'll be like, you want some dirt?
Yeah. But this is cool. This is a different different experience. Yeah. I feel like it's something.
Had it been the opposite, what's the worst thing? What's the worst quality your loved one has? You're like, oh shit, we're gonna call.
That's true. Maybe that's once we get going. But that's awesome.
That's beautiful.
Toxic positivity, I think, is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about artists. Who's your favorite rapper? Or again, you can
JayZ.
JayZ's your favorite rapper. That's interesting. So we have some Jay.
Okay.
Queued up here. Hey.
Hey, Shizzo.
Hey.
This is a good song. Oh, this is a whole. Oh my God, that's for me.
That's for you, my brother.
Bro, thank you.
Like, listen, like
you knew this.
I assumed. So
Appreciate you. That's great. No, this is one of the all-time great albums, man.
well, see, the thing is like
This is one of the all-time great albums.
the thing is, I feel like with people,
Yes.
right, that you care about, your friends, like you can't just, you've done well for yourself. Yes. So it's like you got to give something where
you have to.
You know what I mean?
Gift.
Like meaningful and for me, like I know that I kind of had an inkling that would be Jay.
Yes.
And then this album is there's so much history.
It's an all-time album.
Yeah.
There's going back and forth between him or Nas. But
Nas is also another one, but Jay
Yeah.
is all-time for me.
And it's a lifetime, right? I mean, you mentioned that with the other artists, right? He's like the Emmett Smith of rap. Like he's running with, shoulder dislocation. Like it doesn't, like genre, Biggie goes down. Like East Coast rap is not a thing anymore, and he's just still banging.
Yep.
So anyway,
and this is an iconic. This was in my opinion, a very turning point. Album in the sense that it really solidified him, in my opinion, as like, I'm not an underground Reasonable Doubt guy. I'm not a pop Volume 2 guy.
Yeah.
I'm the real deal.
I'm the
blueprint. I'm the real deal.
Yeah.
Like
the kids and I have a, I mean, I'm kind of a Kanye fan. I just think that he's getting some deeper things.
Yeah.
But one of his greatest lines ever was, "What I'm gonna bring to the table when I'm the table."
Oof. Great line.
And I think that the blueprint is kind of like he's setting the table. Yeah. It's not what I'm bringing to rap. I am rap. Yeah. I am, hip hop.
Absolutely.
So
and on vinyl too, bro. This is an amazing
gift. It's that's sort of a
gift.
kind of thing.
Bro.
But
yeah, with going to the location. This is going like in the office.
That makes me feel good. So I gave you something.
Yeah.
But I also want something from you.
Oh,
so this
you knew it was coming.
This is a little loaded.
Okay.
I'm sort of like I want something in return.
Okay.
So
what do I got to do in exchange for this vinyl?
In exchange, you have to.
Wow.
You have to sign.
This is a big deal, bro. Thank you.
You have to sign my copy.
Okay. 100%.
Oh wait, if you want the cap there,
100%.
whatever it is, so you get on yours.
No, man, this is So this is wow. The fact that you pulled this out, man. This is like,
So tell us a little bit.
This is one of the most kind of just seminal turning point pieces of work in my whole career, man.
Yes.
This whole thing was just, you know, all of it in terms of craft, story, design, everything. So Homecoming King, my first Netflix comedy special, my first kind of singular piece of work that really kind of made me, I would say, like a legitimate artist, in my opinion.
Yes.
What, you know, it was like my, I would call it almost like my debut album.
Yeah.
And so everybody in my opinion, in both in music and in comedy has a thing that's so singularly them. You know, I think, in my opinion, Chris Rock's Bring the Pain and Bigger and Blacker. Like those summarize who he is and what was to come. Obviously, he's evolved and changed and everything like that. But J. Cole 2014 Forest Hills Drive. I'm a kid from, you know, I think it's Fayetteville, North Carolina. And all right, you know, this is my story.
Yes.
And so Homecoming King is like the story of New Brown America, the story of my life, my family's life. And for a lot of kids in the diaspora, this meant a lot. But
it's, to me, this is the, you know, and I know, you know, we're both busy, so we don't get to vibe on like, you know, what we're feeling and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But to me, this is like, you're breaking out of the box.
Sure, yeah.
With this, like, you're breaking out of the box because you're taking full accountability for, you know what I mean, for who you are and what you are and where you're from.
Yeah.
And all of those things amalgamate in sort of the person you are. So,
and this was kind of like my, in a real way, beyond the Daily Show, beyond the other stuff, my personal singular introduction to the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, yo, this is who I am, you know? And from the art design, you know, shout out to Sam Spratt, who did the original, you know, in an AI world, this was hand drawn original artwork. We basically, what we wanted to do was subvert classic Rockwellian Americana.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
And then put,
and even the art, you mentioned the art, even the art. I'm gonna show it there. Even the art, the way you're drawn, is very purposeful. And if you you know, like you know, growing up in Toronto, like, you know, because I have a lot of
Indian
different culture friends and Indian friends, like the way you're drawn there is very, very purposeful,
specific. And Sam Spratt really did it brilliantly. Like, he just nailed it. And I remember there was a long conversation where he goes, trust me, like, you know, he's like, I know this is a comedy album, but I don't want it to be you grinning. Or I don't want you to be kind of ironic.
Yeah.
There was like a real kind of sincerity to it.
It's deep.
I haven't seen this in a long time, man. And to see this as a vinyl, bro, this is very special.
Yes, so
even all this stuff is hand drawn. He hand drew the font. It wasn't one of those things. Yeah, man. And I look at this back and it's really, really special, man.
Awesome.
Man, I gotta make this out. This is beautiful, bro. You want me to sign the front or the back?
I want you all over. I want you to, yeah, because that's you know, you know, again, I you know, we don't share a lot of different things, but, you know, like I told you when I first met Bina, and we were talking about the foundation, and you know, then she said, hey, you know, sort of like, you know who my husband is? I'm like, no, I don't, you know, like, well, I don't know. Jordan, I met your wife for the first time after 20 years of being in a partnership. So I'm sort of not that guy. You know, if you tell me, I'm interested, but I'm not going to pry. And then, you know, we started talking about it, and then you know, decided to be part of the foundation. And so, you know, my daughter, the story here is my daughter, so we're watching his first Netflix special, and my daughter's like, you know him? And I'm like, yeah, I know him. You know, like, yeah. We, you know, he's working with the foundation. It's like, he's so deep.
Athena was saying that.
Yeah, Athena's like,
oh man,
he's so deep. You know,
bro,
he's so deep.
You know what? You know what means a lot, man. A cosign from Athena, from like a cosign from people's kids, their children, means a lot, man.
Yeah,
because what they're doing is they're just there's no layers to it.
Yes.
Like when they love something, they love something. When they think something's whack,
Yeah, they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you. It was
they're gonna
Patriot
tell you.
Act is what she watched. She watched Patriot Act, and she's like,
Well, I think that's a testament, though, to your,
Thank you, bro.
you know,
"Thank you,
to your
appreciate you."
comedy.
Yeah, man.
Come on, man. Beautiful. Bro. Appreciate you, man. That means a lot, man. Really, it really does. That's powerful, man.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it right here.
What's up?
Yeah,
man?
no, that is a testament to, I guess, the stuff you talk about. I mean, you cover so many things, you know?
Totally.
Yeah,
You know what's beautiful, man, that I'm just always like grateful for is that, you know, I'm not the biggest artist in the world, but the fact that it resonates in any way with people, it just means a lot.
Absolutely.
That resonance, the fact that Athena was like, man, I like it. It just means the world. For true.
Yeah, because I mean, you and I talked about, right? There are popular people who are
very popular.
There's nothing there. There's nothing there.
Right.
You know, and then there's artists that we know. Actually, Demola was one of those in 2020.
Incredible.
I met Demola, and you know, this guy's like nobody knew about him.
No, Demola's incredible.
And now, you know, everybody's like, oh, Demola. I'm like, shut up.
Demola's the real deal.
We're gonna get him on the
Demola's the real
podcast.
deal.
Yeah, we got to get Demola. Demola, you agreed? Yeah, he's coming.
You talk about a person, and we haven't even spoken. So you talk about a guy just like living in his purpose. You're just he was performing at the foundation. I was just at the big gala. I was in awe.
Yeah.
When you see it in real life.
Yeah, right. Because it's
when you
it's
see
live.
it this isn't some AI YouTube video.
Yes.
No, this is a real deal. This is craft.
Yeah.
It's like real craft, real passion, and
yeah. All right. So I know you got to get on a plane. I have one more. So I do want. I think we would not two things. I apologize. Two things. One is
okay.
Give me your thought. Your 2-minute rant on healthcare in America. Like, what is your 2-minute?
Yeah. All right. So this is my 2-minute rant on healthcare in America. What breaks my heart about healthcare in America is there's certain things that I feel like need to be human rights. I think healthcare, clean air, clean water, some form of civic protection for civilians, children, and education. These are like 4 or 5 things that I feel like, hey, this is, if you're a citizen of a secular, multiracial, multi-ethnic company that's one of the countries, that's one of the leaders of the world, these basic things should be possible. What I mean by that is like, do you have access to a great education, a free education, libraries, hospitals? You don't have to worry about, hey, if I get sick, will I be able to afford the bill? Your worry and concern should be, can I get the care that I need to get better? And that's that. And that's us at the, we were at one of the pop-ups for the foundation. And what you guys were providing there, this photo, to me was a moment of, the fact that we're meeting the community and meeting people and saying, hey, we're here to help you. To me, that is the idea of a society, of living in a robust society, that, hey, the needs of the people are met. Talk about the floor, the needs of the people are met. From the floor all the way up.
Totally agree. Like we lose. Healthcare is one of those. Obviously, clean water. You mentioned a bunch. Like, you know, we lose sometimes in the political teams. Right? Who's going to win? Who's going to lose? We lose the fact that all of us, probably everybody in the country, probably everybody in the world.
Yeah.
When you see somebody drinking unhealthy water, or you feel somebody that isn't getting the care they deserve.
Yes.
It hurts you deep, no matter what you. Now you may have differences on how that's supposed to get done.
Sure.
But at the end of the day,
we're talking about baseline.
Baseline.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so this is it. That's my little 2-minute rant on healthcare, which is we just need to refocus on. Hey, what is a baseline for American society, and what is the right of every citizen of the United States of America?
So I just want to say thank you again for not just participating, from really bringing the foundation to a whole other level.
Thank you, man.
And you know, your commitment over, 4 or 5 years now to the foundation, to the people, to me, to Bina, has just been.
I'm just proud to help and be a part of it, man.
Awesome. Okay, so one last thing.
Okay.
This is the last thing.
This is our 4th last thing.
This is the 5th last thing. Ed, I want you, one thing that you can leave people listening, watching, one thing that you can leave for them, one nugget. You've given like 18 nuggets. I feel like this is like an 18 piece at Mickey D's. You've given so many nuggets, but one last thing that you would leave for them to remember, you on the Less Than 1% podcast. What's the last message you'd leave them with?
You know what it is? I rarely like to be didactic with the advice I give to others. So this is actually for myself. And then maybe you can extrapolate from that. But if you don't need this because you're doing great, then, God bless you. I look up to you. But for me, it's always, I'm just reminding myself as I'm prepping this next project, is you don't have to be the best. You just have to do your best. I try to remind myself, man, Hasan, this is a single player game. I've had a lot of dreams with certain projects. Some of them went crazy gangbusters. Some of them didn't go as great as I thought they would. But I think the thing that I'm the most proud of, and I'm being honest, I've been on both sides of the roller coaster where it's the #1 movie at the box office. Could you believe it? Actually, I couldn't believe it. All that type stuff. But it was, I did my best. And that's like that moment of, and nobody can take it away from you. So I'm just trying to remind myself as I'm prepping, and I got my puffer jacket and we're location scouting and I'm in the doldrums and I want to show up late and this, that, and the other is, hey man, you got to do your best. Do your best. I don't know what's going to happen, but you got to do your best. And that feeling of self-satisfaction will be deeper than any result or pat on the back you could feel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, fortunately, the mic is fixed, so you can't drop it. But that is
really?
That was a mic drop moment? That was a mic drop moment.
All right. Yeah. I don't know. Just, I know I may get pushed back in the comment section or whatever because there's all the Nike commercials about winning and all that sort of stuff. And I get it. I get it. But I've been on both sides of it. I get it.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. Thank you,
my brother.
Appreciate you.
I so appreciate you. Thank you so much.
This was fire.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.
All right.
Come on, man. Come on. Yeah, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
How wild is that, bro?